When I was in my early 30s, I had the privilege of serving as the priest for a historically African American church on the east side of Austin, Texas. Those years at St. James were among the best of my life. I learned so much. My eyes were open to so many realities that I had simply missed as a white male growing up in America. After serving there, I would never be able to see the world the same way again. One Sunday night, I was headed to hear some music with two of my best friends, Kevin and Fred. They weren't members of my church, but were part of a group of young professional guys I hung out with. I met Fred in a film acting class. He was in the insurance industry, but was planning to pursue something in a more creative field. Kevin was Fred's best friend from Fort Worth, and he traveled frequently to Austin. He was on his way to a possible professional baseball career when an injury sidetracked him, and he wound up becoming a delivery man for UPS. Rumor had it that some of his female customers would send themselves gifts just so Kevin could deliver them. He was popular on his route, to say the least. Kevin and Fred, by the way, are black. On this night, Kevin was driving his green Honda. Fred was riding shotgun up front, and I was sitting in the back seat. After dinner, on our way to check out a band, a police car began to follow us and flashed its lights. We immediately pulled over. Knowing that we had done nothing wrong, I don't think I'd even said anything in my sermon that morning that was offensive, which was highly unusual. But we were surprised to hear this blaring voice, "Get out of the car with your hands up. Slowly move to the rear of the vehicle. Place both your hands on the trunk. Spread your feet apart. Now." We did, precisely as that booming voice had instructed us. As the officer approached, I could hear the police dispatcher telling him that he was looking for two teenage black males driving a white Mustang, and that the suspects were wearing white t-shirts and overalls. We were driving a green Honda, and my friends were wearing colorful polo shirts and pressed jeans, and they were in their mid-30s. The officer spoke to me. "Have you been with these guys tonight?" I admitted that I had been in the presence of two guys who don't look like me all night. The officer frisked all of us thoroughly and publicly. Although my two friends maintained a great sense of humor throughout and said that we'd all laugh about it someday and that I should tell the officer what I did for a living and maybe offer an impromptu blessing, I didn't find it all that funny. In fact, standing there with my hands on the trunk of a car that looked nothing like a white Mustang, between my two friends who did not resemble the suspects, with my feet spread apart, I felt humiliated, agitated, even violated. We'd committed no crime, but I felt almost mad enough to engage in a violent act. The next Sunday morning in my sermon, I shared that story with my congregation. Everyone nodded knowingly and then shook their heads disapprovingly. After the service, a number of black males in my church shared a personal story with me that was similar, but with an outcome that was much worse. Most reminded me, now you know something of what it's like and something about how it feels. But keep in mind, you don't know a lot. But we're glad you had that experience. It will inform your ministry, your perspective, your decisions, your life. While you'll never completely get it, you get it now more than you did before. They were right. But I have to tell you that from that moment forward, I vowed that even though I would never completely understand, I would damn sure try. I would do all that I could to listen, to learn, to read, to educate myself and others, to advocate, to share, to work toward a more just and equal America. Whatever your experience has been, I hope you'll join me. There's a lot for us to learn, and even more for us to do. But I'm hopeful that if we ride together, no one can stop us.